Hello, hello, and welcome back to Kentucky Route Zero TV Edition. If I turn that off and he's gone. No, okay. Oh, here's the shield. Could be bypassed with a capacitor at 100 nanofarads to reduce noise. What are you working on? Oh, you startled me. Dashiell Morse, pleased to meet you. We don't install this type of phone for customers anymore, but there are quite a few of them and still in circulation. Anyway, the new system doesn't source enough current to run these old bells, so I'm trying to come up with a workaround. Maybe a little box the customer could attach right before the wall jack? I'm a bit of a circuit geek myself. I bet. I mean, you seem very comfortable with electronics. Is this your first time down here? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes can't quite adjust to the light. It takes some practice. Believe it or not, I've been coming here since I was a kid, for one reason or the next. Back then, this place was a train station. It's true. They had bats then, too, but they were considered a nuisance. A train station? What happened to it? Well, the river shifted, and this place slowly filled with water, carrying the trains away with the current. It does that, the river, and I don't begrudge it. It's a good reminder that everything we have is borrowed, even trains. True that, my friend. This is nature's house. Eventually, someone at the Bureau of Reclaimed Spaces heard this place was still empty, so they moved the phone company in here. I returned here as a young lineman, a skill I picked up in wartime, running telephone wires behind enemy lines. We used trees instead of poles. I missed that, actually. They were easier to climb. It's just as well. I'm in no shape to be climbing anything these days. The closest I get is patching up the wiring in the crystal room for the WEVP folks. The crystal room? Oh, that's hilarious. She had the same reaction, but no. Crap, I want to know about Weaver, though. I guess if I go to the station, I can find out more about Weaver and the crystal room either way. So let's ask about the station. WEVP is a TV station, right? Kate says you're the only one who can tell me where it is. Oh, maybe they should print some maps. It's not really supposed to be a secret, but it's not common knowledge either. That must be why they're always short-staffed. Ha! Listen, miss, if you're interested in WEVP, you should go talk to them directly. They're always looking for volunteers. Take the ferry over to the silo. There's a mail stop there. They don't have a sign or anything. Just ask around. I guess I'll get back to this damn old ringer. Poppy's just a little further down if you're dropping off that package. Nice chatting with you. Aw, shit. Maybe I should have asked about Aw, damn. What? I was trying to look at the plaque. Plaque. Abel and Eloise, the lovers' couriers. Bred for racing, Abel and Eloise spent most of their lives as carrier pigeons in the employ of the Echo River Avian Post. They retired here after Abel was disfigured in an accident with a light aircraft. But old habits were hard to die. Abel and Eloise would pick up scraps of paper from the ground, the trash, even pull them out of pockets and deliver them to other people nearby, to delight or embarrassment. Oh, that's cute. Word spread, and travelers passing through this tunnel began to come prepared with love letters, poems, and other written desires to pass along indirectly through these pigeons. After a hard day's work, Abel and Eloise would always be found nestled closely together in a disused newspaper stand set aside for their habitation, and that's where we left them. That is so sweet. Wait. I just want to make absolutely sure there's nothing over here. Okay, doesn't seem like it. Man, I'm kind of mad. I should have asked about Weaver. Oh, I see up top, the birds. I was looking down at the plaque. I didn't see that there were like the bird statues on top of the pillars. Just set it right over there by the lamp, sweetie. Thanks. Actually, just a minute. Who does that parcel claim to be from? I don't want it to be from Consolidated Power. I just know that they're bad. So let's say that it's from Laszlo Electronics. Ooh, must be my new patch cables. And not a minute too soon. This one here is hanging on by a fiber. So, who are you? Do you work for the post office? Or the tugboat? I only asked because I haven't seen you before. Was that you I heard chatting down the hall? I'm just doing Kate a favor, dropping off this package. Kate! I love Kate. She helped deliver both my nieces, one in a hospital and one at the base of a mossy moonlit oak. It was beautiful. I love Kate. I think Loretta's granddaughter used her too. Oh, Loretta used to work here. Actually, I think quite a few of our former operators have relied at some time on Kate's services. Well, now I guess they'll have more time with their little ones. As you can see, all their chairs are empty. It wasn't always like this. When I came to work at the Echo River Central Exchange, there were 12 of us. Loretta, Edna, Meg, Kara, Marie, Lois, Liz, Hester, Angie, Wilma, Connie. I was number 12. Connie and I were hired on the same day, but she showed up early. Mary finished college, and Hester was fired for snapping at a rude caller, but he had it coming, and I hear she did just fine on her own. So they hired Beryl, Jaina, and Sachiko, which brought us up to 13, and that was as many operators as we ever had here at one time. The power company came along, buying up all the lines, and one day they took the exchange as a throw-in, like it was nothing. Nothing! And they started phasing us out. Edna, Meg, Kara, and Lois left one Friday evening, and were asked not to come back on Monday morning. Beryl saw the writing on the wall and quickly found employment at private PBX. They had Jaina and Liz stop routing calls and write up some kind of best practices document instead. It was their final task as exchange employees. Some of the girls were reassigned to other divisions. Connie, I think, was checking residential meters. Sachiko and Wilma were moved into energy sales, cold calling businesses to see if they needed to upgrade their electricity plan. At least they were still on the phone. Then it was just Loretta, Angie, and me. We were swamped. The hours were hell and hard on the throat. The voice with a smile became a croak. I was gargling warm salt water in the break room, sipping from a thermos full of hot honey broth stashed under my chair. Oh, I brought a lot of extended technique to the switchboard in those days. Oh, shit. Who's that? Can I listen in? Sounded pretty good to me. He's got the voltage too high. He'll burn out the relay. So, where was I? It was just Loretta, Angie, and you. They were the smart ones. It's how they held on so long. They went into voice work, recording canned phrases for IVR systems and robocall polling. I could never do that. So, after a few months, it was just me. A new automation strategy was announced, and this place was rechristened Consolidated Auxiliary Switch Number 30. If it's automated, what do you do here? It's not fully automated. There are still gaps in functionality that need a human touch. And, it really is all about touch here. Sound is a vibration, a touch you feel in your ear. So my voice is my touch. When we're talking, we're touching, even on the phone. That's an electric touch, an intimate little shock that makes your tiny hairs tremble. But that's not even what I mean when I say it's all about touch here. When the power company first tried automating this old exchange with fancy new transistor arrays, the switchboard caught fire. It was just too much, too fast. So they tried using some clunky old mechanical relays, but then the calls were getting mismatched and out of sync. It was a nightmare. Their technicians determined that the phone system down here had been designed ad hoc over decades around the specific tempo of its human operators. So, short of replacing the whole thing, not to mention all the wiring, they'd have to work out the exact timing of every little human gesture that goes into routing a phone call. And that, officially, is my role here. I run the switchboard for the whole exchange. Once the work of 12, I'd like to remind you. They have some kind of machine somewhere that tracks how long it takes me to do each little thing. The caller never hears my voice now. They dial, my little indicator light switch on, and I make the connection. Do you miss talking to callers? There's something that bothers me about the process, besides the fact that I'm training my replacement, who isn't even human. Here's what I mean. How long do you think it should take to time my every move and recreate that timing in an automated switchboard? Rough estimate. Maybe a week? That's what I said. But this has been going on for over a year, and a very dark thought has started to nag at me. What if there is no cheap machine that's going to replace me? What if it's cheaper just to keep me here, filling in for the rhythm of the operators? What if I'm the cheap machine? Why don't you just quit? In this economy? No, you're probably right. Working in silence for peanut shells, waiting to be replaced by a robot. It doesn't sound very dignified, does it? The reality is that I've been working here for my whole adult life. I came here as a girl, and I'll leave as a middle-aged woman. I don't know if I'm ready to be her yet. Oh, the parcel. Right over there by the lamp is fine. Thanks for dropping that off. Take care. Think of me when you dial 0. All right. Oh my God. Hey, where's what? Hold on a second. Hey! What the hell? I'm gonna be so mad if one of those skellies was Conway. Oh my God. I'm pissed. She returned on the dinghy alone. She had a strong and sudden urge to shut the motor off and let the current take her, but she couldn't work out where that impulse came from, so she did her best to resist it. She met a flower salesman on a raft. They floated alongside in buoyant pots, bobbing untethered. He corralled them with a long pole and a stream of small adjustments. She made small talk. He was alert and easygoing. His day was just beginning. He used to work at the balloon barn, but it closed down. When he wasn't selling flowers, he'd hang out by the highway and listen to the sounds the cars made, study them carefully, then learn to reproduce them with his own voice. He was working on a record. He drifted away with the current, pushing his flowers along with the raft. She met a guitar player pedaling a floating bicycle with his dog in tow. He said they took turns. The water was cold, and the floating bicycle, while technically marvelous, wasn't quite buoyant enough for the both of them. Swimming is hard work, the hardest work that dog had ever done, he expected. They'd been traveling this way for most of the night, struggling through the icy water, stopping to recover when they could find a rock large enough to start a small campfire. He had his belongings stuffed into a weathered guitar case at the end of a thin rope. It floated pretty well, so he only had to keep an eye on it occasionally, free it from a rock or some driftwood it was caught on. She invited him to ride a ways on the dinghy. He appreciated the offer, but they weren't in a hurry. She met a painter of shipwrecks. He never worked from photographs, so his paintings could be divided into two categories. There were the ones he painted from life, and the Echo River was a very good source for these because its currents were so unpredictable and the tunnels so dark. He rendered these in oil paint by lamplight, working for hours cross-legged on the porch of his houseboat/studio. Then there were the ones he painted from memory, mostly the memory of a single wreck he encountered as a much younger man, picking up litter where the coastal highway cleaves to the rocky beaches of Northern California. These were done in watercolor. He preferred to work on them in the morning, in a room he rented near the airport in Louisville. He had some postcard-sized sketches in charcoal, too, of the Iron Pariah. It wasn't a wreck exactly, but it felt right. He tried to scribble one down every time he encountered it. Though it was so unpredictable and he was so focused on details, he usually just ended up with a handful of inscrutable marks. She gave in, shut off the motor, and floated for a while. Then she knew what she'd been craving. A moment of silence. All right, then let's give it to her while I have my seltzer. What's that? Act 4, Scene 8. Sam and Ida's. Woo! Okay. I'm tempted to make this a short episode, but let's not. Let's not do that for any of these. Can I get to anything on the left? No? Alright, let's go up. Up, Shannon, with your cute little self. There she goes. Look at her run. I like that I can click that before she gets there. Just in time! We've already finished eating, but we're about to place a to-go order for Clara. She's back on board getting ready for her show. Take a look at the menu. I'm sure there's something you'll like. Ida's a bit of a local celebrity, for her cooking, I mean. Hey, Edward was just asking about you. He's around the corner playing a video game. Maybe go let him know you two are back. Or, where's the old man, anyway? I don't want to talk about it, Junebug. Oh, bad luck. You'll get it next time. Hey, got a quarter? He's almost got this. It's true. Don't waste your time. Those machines are rigged. Oh, definitely. They're still fun, though. Fine, here's a quarter. It's my only one, so make it count. Thank you. So, where's... They took him. Damn. Yeah, he really got himself in a situation there. Yeah, I'm gonna go sit down. Cool. The food is good here. I think everyone else is finishing up, but you could probably get something to go. All right, Claw Maestro, let's give it another shot. So, let's see what's on the top of the pile here. There's a stuffed octopus, a plastic bag full of clamshells, a cowboy hat, and some big headphones. That octopus has a leg wrapped around the boombox underneath it. The shells are pretty clear, but I don't know if the claw can really grip the bag well. The cowboy hat is in the corner, so it's kind of tricky to tell if it's wedged in or not. Those headphones might be a good bet, but I can't see the cord. It could be wrapped around something. What are you going to try for? I can get the octopus. Wow, all right. I admire your confidence. Okay, when I put this quarter in, you'll have about 8 seconds to grab your prize. The octopus is square in the middle. Let me know if you need help lining it up. I've got a slightly different view of the field from up here. Ready? Here we go. Johnny inserts the coin and the machine awakens. Timer 8. The claw hovers in the front line. Oh, corner of the machine. Okay, the front left. So we're going to go right. Halfway across the front. So, go up. In the center of the machine. Okay, push the joystick, drop the claw. The claw drops and grabs the octopus. The octopus is attached too securely to the plastic boombox beneath it. It slips from the claw's grasp. Ah, no good. I had a feeling that octopus was a little too comfortable in there. Hey, listen. Sounds like that old man you were following around, I guess he had to leave? Is he okay? Yeah, he's okay. I mean, I'm sure he could be better, but I don't think we need to worry about him. Anyway, I don't know what kind of plans you have now, but if you need help figuring out your next move, you can always talk to me and Miss Junebug. I just wanted to make sure you know that. Could I keep going with you? Hey, I've got no objection. We have a pretty ad hoc thing going on, me and Junebug. I'd have to talk to her, but I bet you're welcome to tag along for a while if you're into it. Hey, maybe we still have time to poke around this place a little. They have some pretty wild stuff in here. Yeah, because I don't want him to go back to the museum. Like, yes, that's basically where he's been living, and Julian is his brother, and at least he'd have Flora back there. But I feel like he's been, developing a family with us, and his parents ditched him, so I'd rather see him going with Junebug and Johnny than just going back to the museum and waiting around, Hey, did you see this? They keep a table full of fake food over here. I've never known why. Actually, I think it might be real food coated with shellac or something. Preserved. Oh, and look, this tentacle-looking thing is half-eaten. This is someone's meal they didn't finish? Tentacle, gross. Man, I don't know. Some people really like that stuff. I had some fried calamari once at a gas station. It was pretty good, but I stripped a gear trying to chew the beak. They're supposed to take that out. If Sam and Ida preserved this half-eaten meal, it must have been pretty important to them, right? Maybe it belonged to someone they cared about, like a beloved uncle had a mid-meal stroke, so they kept it in his memory. Yeah, like these sunflower seeds my folks left behind. Oh, I'm sure your folks are fine, though. Are you worried about them? You know what? For some reason, I feel like Ezra is mature enough to understand what happened. Maybe I'm just being persuaded by the fact that it looks like he's always wearing a little suit. But there's something about the tone and nature of this game makes me feel like he's not fully a little kid. No, they're gone. There's nothing to worry about. I just miss them. Okay, well, I don't know what the deal is with this table, but sometimes people do weird stuff because they miss someone. Weird. Somehow I thought it was his truck and delivery and all. It was. That's what she's saying. But he gave it to her before they took him away. But you're going to deliver it anyway? Why? He's my friend. He needs my help to finish his job. That's right. He's our friend, too. Johnny and I will help you unload when we get there. Lift with your legs, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. So, how was everything? How was a sweet cave snail? Devastating. You're a killer, Ida. Well, I can't take all the credit. Sam came across a whole cave snail colony down there about a year back, and we've been leaving rock candy for them to gorge on since. We just started harvesting earlier this month. Yes, it's all about patience down here. Everything grows more slowly in the dark. There's a fish in Lake Lethe that lives 200 years, and its flavor profile only develops at about 75. I've got a pot of bones in there that's been stewing for at least a week. I don't even remember why I put them on. Come to think of it, I don't even remember what kind of bones they are. Oh, we need one for the road. Clara said she wanted, something primordial, she said. What does that mean? Kate reviews the menu. I think she meant something from very deep in the lake. Ah, could be. Hand Shannon the menu. Here, you pick. I'm no good at this. Shannon inspects the menu. Let's go with... It's just going to keep going. I just want to keep seeing what all of these options are. That's interesting. It looks like it's either like randomly generated, like it's swapping the thing that's in the front with things that are in the back. Cedar plank mussel with basil, parmesan crust, and butter. That actually sounds good. Let's do that. I mean, it doesn't sound good to me. I don't eat mussels, but still. Good choice. Your friend will love it. I'll have that right out, sweetie. I almost forgot what voice I gave you. As a matter of fact, I think I did forget, and it's fine. Ezra leans over the table and carefully examines the preserved food and drink. He prods a half-eaten tentacle. The tentacle is solid and fixed in place. We used to steam those. Juicy, but I prefer them smoked now. Sorry, I startled you, sweetie. Whose food is this? This is the diver's table, and this was the diver's meal. This food is about 15 years old. It's true. Things were different then. Nobody came to eat here. We were fighting just to keep the lights on. Sam, my husband Sam, was depressed. He couldn't catch anything. That was part of the problem. Most of what we served was shipped and frozen or dried, and I just threw it in the fryer. We've both come a long way since then. Well, 2 young men came in for dinner. Seasoned divers, they said. Over 10,000 hours between them in Lake Lethe alone. They'd been out all day, salvaging parts from a riverboat wreck, and had worked up a fierce hunger, they said. They ordered the whole menu without even looking. It was a short menu in those days. I sat them right here and went back to the kitchen. Sam was at the next table doing a Sudoku and drinking malt liquor, his usual routine at the time. An hour later, I was cleaning up when Sam came bursting into the kitchen. Ida, he said, kind of frantic, these divers are still hungry. Bring them another course. And I said, well, they already ordered the whole menu. And Sam said, well, make something new. Keep making up dishes, whatever. Just keep bringing out food. So I did until the small hours of the morning. I made up so many new dishes that night I could write a book. And it was good, inspired. But I was working so hot and fast at the burning edge of inspiration, I didn't think to write any of it down. And I was so wrecked with exhaustion the next day, I knew I couldn't remember what all I'd done in the kitchen. Sam thought we could take a photograph of the leftovers, but we couldn't get the lighting right, so we just shellacked the whole table. Now, when I need inspiration for the menu, I come and look here and think about all those ingenious dishes I threw together for those divers. Of course, they didn't pay their full bill. I heard one of them complaining to the other. Let's just pay half and let them charge the other half to whatever demon in the kitchen kept making up food faster than we could ask for it. But it all worked out. Things have really turned around since then. This place is actually pretty popular now. The success and our expanded menu inspired Sam too. He started bringing back the most magnificent ingredients from his nightly dives. I'd better get to work. Stay right here, sweetie, and I'll bring you a treat on my way back out. All right. I'm never adverse to a treaty treat. Oh, was that her husband? He looks all rickety. Well, buddy, I guess you're the catch of the day. The one and only. So, what are you? You look like, well, some kind of fish, I guess. Kind of a mopey little guy, huh? Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You smell like sort of buttery. Well, that should be just fine. Skin feels like sandpaper. Huh. Well, she'll figure something out. I think I'll call you Lazy Grayfish. Welcome to Sam and Ida's, the one and only Lazy Grayfish. Hope you enjoy your stay. I mean, not too much. Have you ever seen a creature like me before? You were pretty far down there. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm the first, except There were 2 divers who went before me long ago. Maybe that was before your time. How old are you anyway? I wonder. They ate here once, back in the bad old days. 2 young guys. Could have been brothers, maybe. I was over in the corner with my coffee and crossword. Hadn't been able to catch a thing, so I'd have just fried up something from frozen. Well, these guys were hungry enough to eat it, and they did at least as much talking as eating. See, like I said, they were divers, and like I said, they might have been brothers, but they had a kind of rivalry going between them or something. Ida was about to write up their check, but I slipped calmly and quietly into the kitchen for a minute and told her to keep bringing out food. I figured they wouldn't notice, caught up in their boasting as they were, and I wanted to listen. They went back and forth for hours about all the deep and dangerous dives they'd been on, new tunnels they'd discovered, all the weird creatures they'd encountered at the weirdest depths of Lake Lethe. It was like a dance. No, like a boxing match. Each story went deeper than the last. And I listened to every word of it, memorized every description of every tunnel and diving route they discovered. That's my map now, you see? For 15 years, I've been using routes those 2 young divers discussed right there at that table. Yeah, I could write a guidebook to the depths of this lake, but I don't dare. Someone would steal my good diving spots, and then where would we be? See, people come here from all over just to try our daily catch because they know it's unique. Ain't you proud? Since I can't write any of it down, I just preserved that table where they had their meal so I can look at it to jog my memory. Like they were eating pickled crab when they talked about that shipwreck full of salamanders. Pretty clever, huh? It's my own secret code. Well, I'll be straight with you, lazy gray fish. There is one feature of this arrangement that I find unsettling. In fact, I lose a decent amount of sleep over it. I told you those boys were competing, right? One-upping each other, I mean. Each getting wilder and more adventurous as they traded tales. Well, I navigate mostly in the dark down there, just going by touch and kind of mental picture I can construct from their detailed boasts. And every time I explore a new diving spot from those recollections, I have to weigh it all against the risk that I'm headed right into a dangerous falsehood. One of those men could have felt for a moment like he was losing some ground in their little duel, so he could have slipped a fake one in there, maybe told a fib about some dive he went on and found a colony of blind shrimp living in a discarded refrigerator. And when I get down there, my diving bell cracks open on a sharp rock where he said that fridge would be, and that's the end of Sam of Salmonitis. To be honest, that possibility puts the fear of death in me every time I touch water. Damn, Sam, you're a tall man. Hey, Sam, good haul tonight? We'll see what you can make of it. Yeah, pretty good, I think. I had some trouble down by the narrow tunnel. Some kind of fast-growing freshwater barnacles just about sealed it up. I picked away for half an hour before I gave up and went around the other way. But I got the catch of the day. That's the important part. That's what people travel for. Pretty cold here for diving, right? The cold I can handle. I've got an oil heater in the diving bell, and if it's really bad, I might take a nip of something here and there. Will you stay for a drink? I've got a dark rum that goes well with coffee. Ha! It's a bit early for me. Yeah, seems like it's always too early. Oh, she's got your food ready. You all enjoy your meal, all right? Thanks, Sam. It's time for music. We haven't heard the guys in a while. Are they going to be down there performing? I love how they just appear. Heck yeah! I'm just passing through. My treasures and my hopes are placed beyond the blue. Many friends and kin have gone on before. Friend like you, if heaven's not my home, oh Lord, what will I do? Angels beckon me to heaven's open door. Bye, guys.
To stop until I shake her hand. She's waiting there for me.
I'll just let them drift out of sight before I get on the boat. The banana boat.
And I can feel at home in this world
Anymore. All right.
Oh Lord, you know.
She returned to the tugboat.
No friend like you.
Man, that was something. So I think whenever we get to the next place we're going to get to, that'll be it for this episode. See that? Just looks like a swirling mess of garbage, doesn't it? Well, that's what it is. I don't know why trash seems to collect right there of all the spots on the lake. It's always been that way. Everyone just navigates around it, like it was an island or something. I think I see some desks and chairs swirling around the edge there. Those all-in-one desks, like they have in schools, if I remember right. It's been a few years since I saw the inside of one. Those must have washed down from somewhere. I've never known there to be a school on the lake. Oh, there was Gemini School of Beauty. It was run by sisters, Cassie and Paula, indistinguishable except for their haircuts, but I wouldn't think they'd have used desks like that. We used to stop there most every night to let someone off for a cheap haircut. Student stylists, you know. They spared many a sailor the pain of a botched do-it-yourself do. But I guess they got in deep to the power company. Those blow dryers and curling irons burn a lot of coal. It's a shame they had to close down. The haircuts are gone, but the hair keeps growing. Yeah, this cluttered place makes a decent local museum. It's as good a history as I could ever tell. We arrived at a small houseboat neighborhood that sometimes hosted concerts for the pleasure of its residents, where Clara was scheduled that night to perform. Oh, okay. That's where we're going. Cool. Okay, so Ezra stayed on the boat to help her with her performance, or Junebug and Johnny watched the show from the dockyard. I kind of don't know what Ezra would be doing to help with the performance, and I kind of just want to watch the performance. And since it's going to be Junebug and Johnny with the others, I'm guessing like everyone else is going to be there, so let's do that. Let's pick that one. Act 4, Scene 9. A neighborhood. Is it a beautiful day? Oh, here we go. Oh. I remember this. I told you. Yeah, you don't have to say it. Only because it's always true. She played the flower shop. Cyrano opened. He was having trouble with his tape machine, so we just droned out in the lap steel. He got really into it, and he went on for like forever. Everyone was falling asleep. Not everyone. I remember the air was warm, perfumed. You were playing with some petals you found on the floor, and I was looking at the ceiling. I remember the ceiling was glass. During the week, that room was a greenhouse. I don't know where they put all the plants when they had bands in it. Maybe outside, if the weather was nice. It was nice that night. Warm, smelled like spring. I remember the folding chairs. So uncomfortable, but I guess it was their only option. They had to pack everything up during the week so there'd be room to display the flowers. The tape stuff sounds good. That kid's doing a good job. Yep, he's a natural-born tape player. I was talking to him back at Salmonitis. He seems a little lost. Another lost soul. Well, he's in good company. Maybe he could travel with us for a bit? I'm not sure that's a good idea. We were in the back, passing messages in code. We used a code of our own design, inscrutable to observers, transmitted by subsonic whistles. We compared strategies for a broken keytar. I'd been staring at it all day, cleaned the whole thing with a toothbrush, doused the battery compartment in WD-40, but it still did this weird chirp out of nowhere every once in a while. I think it still does, actually. I guess we never found a solution. We went for a little walk to take our minds off it. If I sound hesitant or something, it's just... when we met, we were nothing. Just these little gray shadows. And we grew and filled in, and we did all that together. Ezra, he's just a kid, but he's already a person. What would that do to our system, our chemistry? We stepped outside into the warm night air. There was a horse tied up in the parking lot. Whose horse could that have been? Did somebody come to the show on horseback? Or maybe he belonged to someone in the neighborhood. It was a residential area. We went looking around the neighborhood for clues. We wandered between some low houses and came out onto an empty street. Hey, I got the masters for the new record back from Laser. They're okay, but What? You listen to them without me? You were at the arcade. I didn't want to throw off your pinball game. Oh, okay. Anyway, there are a few spots where the strings distorted a little, and the whole thing has way too much reverb, but overall it sounds pretty good. The new drum machine fits right into the mix. Nice. The only question is how to do it live. I can't control the drum machine and sing and dance at the same time, and you've got your hands full of keytar. We stepped into a 24-hour convenience store. I remember the radio was playing some old Patsy Cline, right? Or was it Connie Smith? The clerk was reading one of those conspiracy/celebrity gossip/Bigfoot sighting newspapers. We bought some of those gummy pomegranate seeds. We made our way back to the greenhouse. We must have taken a shortcut or something because I don't remember the walk back at all. We got back to the greenhouse just as Clara was tuning up. She relaxed her shoulders, took a deep breath, raised both hands into their precise positions, and the room started shaking. Clara hit a note that made the glass rattle in sympathy, a perfect 2 octaves lower. She looked like a sorceress tearing down the building with an effortless wave and incredible focus, coaxing the empty air into some kind of moaning, rattling demon. That's the thing about the theremin. It's the only instrument you never touch. You could see a wave of concern propagating through the greenhouse. People looked up at the trembling glass ceiling, looking at each other to see if anyone else was worried, trying to catch Clara's eye and discern if she was doing it on purpose or not, if she were really trying to bury us all in glass. So, how do you think we'll swing that, playing the drum machine live? We'll figure something out. Maybe glue it to the back of your keytar. Oh, yeah. Or swap the buttons out for foot pedals. Or put the drums on tape beforehand, like Cyrano does. Oh yeah, I guess we have a lot of options. Life is full of possibilities, Cricket. Yes, ma'am. It was a tense 5 minutes. We, the audience, alternated between fearing for our lives and lamenting hers that could have given her the kind of emotional experience to play this devastating song. Then slowly, gently, Clara's hands came to rest. The theremin went quiet. The glass stopped rattling, and the room relaxed, unharmed. All right. I think that's a pretty good stopping point, so we'll be stopping, I guess, whenever the boat stops. I feel like every single episode I just gush about this game. For the handful of you who've been watching, I hope you appreciate it as much as I do. I genuinely do, because games like this are so rare, and I just can't praise them enough. And if you can't praise them enough, then go ahead and subscribe to my channel, support me on Patreon at the $1 tier or higher, and I'll be back very soon with more Kentucky Route Zero.